Hold on a second. Pause. Let me get all set up here. Still trying to figure out where everything is. If I invite people, does that mean I'm inviting them to watch? I need people to join so I can find out if my microphone's working. I don't know if I can be heard. I really wish there was a way to test that. Test. Watching my own live. Okay, that didn't help, but I don't think that my speakers are. All right. So I getting ready for all this. Dan, when are you going to join me on one of these? Can we schedule a time when you could join and be a special guest? Because I really like Dan reads books. There's lots of Dans. Yeah. No, this is book club night. This isn't just talking. If anybody's here, can you hear me? Send me a message, Jan, or I'll send you one, because I do have some people for next week potentially already. But then the week after we start book 2. So awesome. I tried to record earlier using my microphone and it didn't pick up any sound. I thought my microphone was broken. No, it was just turned all the way down. I didn't check volume. Hint, check volume. Let's see. Somewhere here, it's supposed to tell me who is viewing. Okay, I see. Peter here. But it only is telling me, it's only showing me 3 names. Oh, maybe that's right. Okay. We're just getting everything worked out. Hello, Captain Heather. It tells me that you've watched my lives for 100 minutes. Celebrate with them. I don't know. Let's celebrate. I don't know how to celebrate, but I wish it was. Isn't there a way to play music? I need to get my Alexa hooked up. Okay. So I'm just trying to get everything situated here. I have my discussion questions open. I do have comments over here. I think bigger so I can see them. And we're just talking about, it gave you stickers. I love that. I want stickers. I love stickers. While we are getting this going, I literally just posted a video. I think you can sort of see this. I don't know if I can get any closer. Can I zoom it in? Can I zoom in here? I don't think I can zoom in. I'm making these bags for my book club. Like, see, I've got, I think, 6 so far. I'm making these bags because I really want to give my book club a gift because my book club's awesome. And I can hear you. I can't see you yet. You tap the screen and then it will say like share your camera, something like that. Let's see.
Hear me now?
I can.
Okay. Hi.
Okay. All right. I'm going to make you bigger in a second. I think I figured out how to do this in terms of it. But while we're just like figuring out our sound and everything, I have a game. I made this bag for 12 icons for 12 books that my book club read this year. So each one of these icons represents a book. And
Okay.
I want to know if anybody in chat or anyone throughout the whole thing can figure out any of these books. It's sci-fi fantasy. So it's my sci-fi book club. We read 12 books and I made 12 symbols to represent it. Instead of doing titles, because this is just on Cricut and doing words on Cricut sucks. Like trying to weed those out. I've already got my desk like covered in little bits. The one that is obvious, I have a cat with a crown. That's the obvious one.
Which one could that be? Seems a little obscure.
Yeah. No, I don't know. That sounds like a weird book, right? Like, Okay, so you're good. You're set up, right? Like you've got your sound. I can hear you great. Let's see if I can figure out how to go back.
Let me know if I need to mute myself when I'm not talking and there's background noise or something.
I mean, I think it's good for here. There is no Martian. There's no Project Hail Mary. And this is sci-fi fantasy. Is Lights Out does that? I thought that was just like, that's just dark, isn't it? Isn't Lights Out like more of my romance book club? What they would read?
That's one I haven't read.
I think, so somebody told me at my last romance book club that Lights Out was similar to Haunting Adeline, but like fun, which is good because Haunting Adeline, I fucking hated it. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Yes. Everything I've read about it, no, thank you.
I know. I'm pretty sure you commented on one of mine too when I was talking about it with just like, it's not even that it's abuse and essay. Like that's the least of it and how bad it is. Okay. Chad, you got one right, but not the one that you thought. We read 2 books with a robot and a tea kettle. This one right here, which is a human hand and a robot hand, that's Monk and Robot. The Monk and Robot duology, the Prayer for the Crown Shy, and the whatever those 2 are. But Monk and Robot is that one. We also read another book about a robot with a tea kettle. All right.
I'll refrain from guessing.
That one right there, the one with the robot and the tea kettle, is one of my favorite books by far that I read this year. I cannot even describe how good it was. It was so good.
Does the title start with an M?
No, it's not Murderbot.
Okay.
Which I did my like characters I'd invite to Thanksgiving. Murderbot would have been way up there, but like Murderbot would hate to go to Thanksgiving. He, they, it, I'm not sure of pronouns. They would hate Thanksgiving. That's what I want to, like, he wouldn't like that. This is also a murdery robot. It's also a robot, but it only has 1 murder. And that must not be very many murders. It's new this year. It's nominated for Hugo Nebula, one of those, the sci-fi one. It was nominated this year for Best.
This feels like one I should have read.
It like gives me such Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy vibes, and I loved it. And I didn't hear anybody talking about it, and I loved it. But all right, so we are having at least one other guest join us here up on screen. Let me viewers. Let's see. It's for Ginger and the Foxes. I'm always assuming it's Kenneth, but I'm gonna say hello to any of the 3 that it is, and Richie always. It's always fun to have you. So when she joins, I'll try to keep looking and see. But tonight we're talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl, chapters 21 through 32. But Peter, thank you for joining.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
I love listening to you talk about books. And I honestly, like in a couple months, I think we should do this again where you come back on, but it's everybody that's on are people who've been influenced to buy that dinosaur sweater because I already have one in my cart based on your video.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
I think that would be funny if everybody was wearing the dinosaur sweater that they were influenced to buy because of you.
Yeah, I need to be able to make a video with a link because I think I'm selling it, but I'm not getting anything from it. So
I did. I made sure I clicked on add to cart from your video, but I haven't bought it yet. So
okay, good. It worked. I didn't know if it was working.
I did. I don't know how it works, but
okay. All right. Well, thank you. It's a very comfy sweater. You're gonna love it.
It's a great sweater. It's a fantastic sweater.
Actually, I just ordered the sister sweater to it. It's triceratops. It's got like triceratops all over it.
I saw that one.
I had to get that one too, so that's coming in the mail. So I'll be modeling that in the next few videos.
All right, I see Run. I am going to invite Run as well. And she's here. Now you have tap on your screen and then click something that says like it's a share video, something like that.
Okay.
And then you're gonna like see yourself first and say, "Is this good?"
Okay, found that. Okay, got it. Interesting. Oh gosh. Okay.
I see you. I see you.
Hello.
That's wonderful.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
Oh, don't. It is good. I don't think I can. Nope. Okay. So I guess it's only when I'm with myself that I can do. Oh wait, that's what I want to do. Oh, but not that. Oh Jesus Christ! How do I take this off? I feel like the judge that's a cat. I'm not really a cat.
Speaking of, I have my kitties inside. It's cold. They have to stay into right now. So.
Okay, seriously. Now I want to take this off, and this is going to bother me.
I heard them saying hi in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there we go. I'll just
sorry.
Welcome. All right, so it is 9:00. We're here for Dungeon Crawler Carl Book Club. This is for book 1, chapters 21 through 32. And I say that because there's so much to talk about with these books. I'm trying to break it down by chapters with the goal for us to read all 7 books before book 8 comes out. That's the overall goal. I'm trying to stay sort of spoiler free, but I'm assuming for most people that this is a reread, not a first time through. But if there is anybody that hasn't gotten to, a certain book, put it in the comments. I know last week we did pause because somebody said that they hadn't read book 7, so we paused on a couple of our conversations. At the end, though, I have to talk about some things that happen in this section that are predictions. I love these kitties that happen. I love those. I want to pet them. So I want to know, I have some things to talk about that are very spoilery, that are predictions for the future and things that are foreshadowing, and a question because I want to talk about potential endings for this series after a section that's in here and after just finishing Operation Bounce House. I have thoughts. So before we start talking about those, because I have discussion questions, would you two introduce yourselves?
Yeah.
Sure.
Go first.
My name is Peter. I'm Peter Wetzel Reads, and I've only been on Book Talk, I think, now since July. But it's been a great journey, and I have a job that allows me to just listen to audiobooks like pretty much all day long. So that's how I, get most of my reading in, and it's been great.
And tell us about your journey with Dungeon Crawler Carl specifically.
I started reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, I think it was back in February, and I finished all 7 books in 1 week. Yeah, and then I started buying the merch. Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Were you listening? Did you listen or read?
Listen, of course. I mean, I feel like this is one of those book series where it's like when people say, I'm going to read that, I'm like, no, you go ahead, but please listen to it. Please read and listen at the same time because this was the most breakthrough audiobook performance I have ever heard in all the audiobooks I've listened to.
Yep.
Jeff Hayes is the best, and I think Travis Deverell's right up there with him, but they're also buddies. So they're, these lit RPG guys are the best. I don't understand how they get all the best narrators, but yeah, it's a must listen to. I mean, you get all that personality from his performance. It's
fantastic. Yeah.
Good.
All right, Ron. And do you want us to call you Ron? Is that your proper screen name? Okay.
Yeah, I go by Ron. It's a weird name, I know. I don't know when I joined Book Talk. It was a while back, or TikTok in general. I found
they're different. I was on TikTok for years before I joined Book Talk. It's different.
Yeah, I think it may be a year or so. I've been on TikTok and Book Talk for like a year-ish, almost 2. I don't know. Anyway, but I found Dungeon Crawler Carl at the beginning of the year, about the same time as Peter there. And I think I I listened to book 1 and then I read through 6. So, and then I decided to go to Lit RPG Con because I got super into the genre and decided that I wanted to read one book from every author. I'm so sorry, animals are killing me right now. But wanted to read one book from every author, so I put a pause on Dungeon Crawler Carl so that I could attempt to do that. I got close. So I'm still on 6 and I absolutely adore it. I love Jeff. I love Matt. They're phenomenal. I've listened to book 1, I think 5 times though. It's so good.
It's so good. It's so much better than it has any right to be. That's how I describe it to everybody it's the silliest premise you're ever going to hear for a book. But oh my God, it is so much better than it has any right to be. It really does. And there are some sections in this chapters 20 through 32 that I think really show that personally, that I want to pull in because I think it really shows why it's so broad and why it's so beloved and why people are just latching onto it. It's not just a fun read. It is a fun read, but it's so much more. Right?
I saw somebody comment that they have no idea what Dungeon Crawler Carl is. Do you think you want to explain introduction?
Oh, yeah. I have not read a single. All right. So first of all, Richie just said I have not read a single chapter of DCC. That's bullshit. Because he also was at Lit RPG Con. Yes. I was there as well. I felt like I met a lot of people there, but I went not knowing anyone and just But I videotaped Ginger and the Foxes, but never talked to them.
Well, that was at Dragon Con, wasn't it?
No, I taped them at Lit RPG Con.
Really? I didn't realize they were there. I'm
sorry. They came on
Saturday.
They came Saturday.
Okay.
They were there Friday night and then were there on Saturday. Yeah, because Mia asked a question and I was recording at the time and then did this whole thing where I put her and Matt Dittman as the getting caught by the jumbo cam and put their faces and then found Matt Dittman's wife and put his face on did this whole thing with faces. I'm not a stalker. So that's Richie.
Not at all.
Okay.
Richie is a foot model for Dungeon Crawler Carl. So
right. Okay, yes.
Yeah. So
I've seen Richie speak. Yeah.
But if anybody hasn't, I did see somebody saying that they're on book 3 or something like that. Okay. All right. Chad, hold on. We have one winner. The bird in the upper corner here is This Is How You Lose the Time War, which is the first book we read for book club in January. Pure poetry. Not sure I liked it. It was very good, but not sure it was for me. But yes, that is one of my books up on my book club bag. So we are talking specifically tonight about book 1, chapters 21 through 32. I chose this because what happens in chapter 20, which we talked about last week, was chapter 20 is when Carl and Donut get attacked by Frank and Maggie in the safe room. And then join my fan club. And then freeze them because they know that attacking is going to just freeze them. And then plant the bombs in the rat corpse and ride off into the sunset, essentially. So chapter 21 starts with them having ridden 100 miles off into the sunset, and it says 100 miles. And so that's going to be one of my questions because the geography of this floor confused me. But anyway, so they're riding off, and then they see all of these signs, and they meet Meadowlark, and they meet all of our friends from Meadowlark. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about is most of this section is about Meadowlark. It's about Brandon and Chris. And then also, like, it's really about them. They sort of meet Imani and Yolanda, but they don't spend a lot of time on either of them. And then they meet Agatha. But before Agatha, specifically, we meet Meadowlark, which is the first sort of sign of somebody nice and something good in this horrific hellscape. What were initial thoughts? Do you think, like, why... Like, Matt obviously had a very clear thought when he put these good characters in there, specifically with the brothers. So why are they there? Why are they taking care of all of these old folks when they weren't even their caregivers? They were maintenance people for the home. Like, why are they so good?
Well, I think from my personal experience, I think that people come together in weird ways in stressful circumstances. Everybody is your friend or everybody is your enemy. And this the best or the worst of people come out in those kinds of situations. Like on a small scale, my family and I went inner tubing down the Savannah River, and that is like this massive survival experience. There's 200 people on there. You're getting stuck on rocks. People are getting, and the night you make friends. Everybody on the river is a friend. You know what I mean? So I think getting Chris and Brandon,
Brandon.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just inherently good people, and the best in them came out in that situation. And I would have done the same thing. I think, when you see somebody so vulnerable, and what kind of a person are you if you don't help them?
Yeah.
Very true.
I think to kind of follow up on what Persephone, wow, that was great. Persephone just said, this was kind of a thought I had as well. I think that Matt introduces the very worst in Maggie and
Frank.
Frank. I'm going to forget all the names.
Yeah.
Now. Maggie and Frank.
I know them because I've been reading and taking a lot of notes. And so this time I'm remembering names. I'm trying to.
Right. But he introduces, I think, like the worst or the most selfish. I mean, everybody has a reason, right? But the worst or the most selfish. And then we get Meadowlark. So we get to see the very best of humanity because they didn't have to stay. They didn't have to be good, if you will. They could have just said, I'm out,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think like this is the moment where Matt takes the like the dichotomy and really highlights that there is good and bad in humanity.
I think that's such a good point. And especially because, and that they were so close. I think that's what Persephone said too, that what really was like, it shows Frank literally the next section is Chris and Brandon. And yes, Imani and Yolanda were there, but again, he didn't really talk with them very much. Like everything it says about Imani is she just glared at him. Like, because, like, she had just gone, like, she had seen some shit. Like, she had just had to, like, kill so many of the people that, were in her group that she was caring for. So she was already traumatized. And Yolanda, he never really talked to, and he specifically says that in the next section, but that's not here. So, yeah, and, like, the fire and police fighters that were there, they did go in, and then they didn't abandon the Meadowlark crew, but they tried to run ahead, and every single one got killed.
Mm-hmm.
So all of them, basically abandoned. And then do you think, I love this question too, do you think Carl would have maintained his humanity if he had not met Meadowlark right after Frank? I want to hear from what you guys think too. I don't, like, that one time when he met Frank and Maggie in the safe room, they attacked him, but he had no idea how bad they were yet. Like, he was like, what jerks? And obviously he knew that they killed other crawlers because they had the crawler skulls and they had seen Rebecca W.'s body killed by Frank. So they knew that they were killing crawlers, but he didn't know how bad they were yet. Like, I think that Frank and Maggie come close to breaking Carl, but not yet, is my point, is that I don't think he had lost humanity necessarily by being attacked by them, but I think it was just more like, oh, this is just a hellscape. There's nothing good here. So I think he needed to see something good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a yes and a no. I think that Donut would have always been his humanity. Even I recognize she's a cat, but I think that would have kept him still somewhat like on the good path, if you will. Yes, he'll go to lengths to protect her, but I think he would have always wanted to set the example for her. Because I think, I don't know if he said it yet, hopefully not a spoiler, but watching her grow.
Donut, you mean? For Donut?
Yeah, Donut. Yeah, like how far she's come. So I think he would still have that kind of in the back of his mind. So maybe not as humane as he would be, but I think he would have for Donut's sake, at least a small amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not so sure I see the risk of Carl losing his humanity so much as losing his will to survive if he really had no one and nothing to care for
That's
him
a
and to
good
fight
point.
for. And I think that is something that drives him forward. Because if he was just doing this for himself, I think he would have lost his will to survive a long time ago.
I think that is such a good point. And I think we see that over and over throughout the series too. That like even in the next section and towards the end of the book, Carl at one point really does think he's gonna die, and he's like, "Okay, Donut, at least you have Chris and Brandon to run back to. Like at least there's an option. There's somebody else who is good here." Right after he meets Chris and Brandon, Donut asks like, "Why can't there be large groups of good people?" Because he goes and he changes all of their signs, which feels very Walking Dead to me. Like, again, it's not the zombies, it's the other humans that are really the problem here. And she says, why can't there be a large group of good people? And he says, there's not. It's sharks and minnows, and you're one or the other. You're either a shark or the minnow. A couple of things I see in the chat. I don't think that Imani even talked until after the boss. I'm pretty sure she didn't. Chad said that. I want to know why Frank and Maggie's guide told them that they had to fight other crawlers. I think that's a really good question because they are. It very specifically, like in the next section, Carl they go on the talk show and they see the guide say the only way to live is to kill other crawlers. And so they're told to do that. They're still shit people, but they are told, they are given really, really terrible advice. So, there is that. I think the Meadowlark folks show Donut that being vulnerable doesn't mean being weak. That's pretty deep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So why are they like? What did everybody think about the Meadowlark residents? Are they? We know that they're worth saving if you've read further, but at the time you don't know that. All through book 1, you have no idea that they're worth saving. Would you risk your life for these people that you might not even know personally? Theoretically.
Yes.
I mean, I'm the Care Bear generation, the My Little Pony generation, so abso-freaking-lutely,
Yeah, I'd be that person who would risk my life pretty much for anybody that I met, feeling that the more of us survive, the more chances we have to survive. I'd be that trusting person who probably would meet a Frank and Maggie and get killed, because I would just go in assuming the best of everybody that I met. Like, we're all in this together, right? And especially this moment in the book was when I thought Matt Denman was such a genius in the fact that no matter how funny this book is in so many ways, he never lets us forget what a horrible tragedy we're actually experiencing.
Yeah.
And that was in every single one of his books. He's brought me to tears at some point. And it was the Meadowlark people, and that struggle there that got me in this book. And it just broke my heart. Even though we were meeting these good friends, these new characters and stuff like that, at the same time, when Carl takes that first look at all these people and he says, they shouldn't be here. They're not equipped for this. Yeah. I just felt like just so heartbroken for all of them.
And he says it repeatedly throughout this book. Like, we end this book at the end of floor 2. So we know we're going to floor 3 where they do have the class and racial choices at the, if they can make it to floor 3. But there are quite a few times when he just says like why? I don't think Carl at this point necessarily would I think he would have done his best. I think he would have tried, but I think that there's a limit. If it came down to them or Donut, he's gonna choose Donut safety over theirs.
Yes.
I mean, but he does say in the chapters, he's like, well, if I'm gonna die, I might as well die for a good cause.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was pretty invested fairly early on. So
I just wanna before we talk about some of the other Meadowlark adjacent folks, I just want to say that I love book clubs. I'm in 3 real life book clubs. I love book clubs so much, and the best book clubs aren't necessarily what everybody agrees, right? Like, and so like in the chat, obviously with you guys, but I know you already know this, like, it is okay to have differing points of view. Ginger and the Foxes had is it Maud's book club on as a guest, and one of the things that she said that I absolutely loved was, a book is just words on a page, or words we listen to, and we're all reading the same words, we're all listening to the same words, but the story we create is unique, and the story we create is each of us, and so we can have different viewpoints and everything. I sort of meant to start with that. That is okay to have very different viewpoints on a book, and sometimes those are the best conversations. I know in real book club, when we all love the book, it's not nearly as good as a conversation when we have different points of view on the same book. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I would try with Meadowlark, but I think there's part of me that would be like, how could they even survive? How, especially at that point when they say that when they came in, all of their physical ailments were cured, but their nothing mental was. So, like, we know that Mrs. McGibbons has memory problems. I think I would assume that if she went to the 3rd floor, she would still have those same memory problems. Like, that the dungeon doesn't necessarily cure that. So, I don't know how altruistic I would necessarily be with them. I'd like to think I'd be good, but I don't think I'd be, like, completely, utterly selfless. I don't know.
Right.
It's such. I'm sorry, go ahead, Peter.
Oh, no. I mean, I was just going to say, my biggest question is, would I do what Imani does? Would I make the same choice that she does? And what's the ethical ramifications of that? Was that the most merciful thing to do? And yeah, that's the question I ask myself a lot when I read that part of the book. Like, how would you make a decision?
Yeah,
I think. Oh.
No, I'm just agreeing. It's your time to talk.
I think the thing is that I did not realize when I read the books that as deep as this really goes, but who's to really say what the value of a life is? Mm-hmm. Just because that person has memory loss or whatever, do they not deserve a shot to the very end? And so I don't would that be something you would have time to, have morality over as you're doing this, or would you even stop to think about it? Like they go straight into leveling up. So maybe they kind of shutting over. Maybe they haven't even had time to really justify their actions. It's just like, they're people. I won't let them die. They don't get into the can they make it? Will they make it? It's just yes or no, and they move on. Maybe, I don't know. But sitting here thinking about it, it's like, who gets to decide the value of a life?
Yeah.
And that's in a silly book about a talking cat. And right. Battle Royale, TV program. Yeah, there's things like that in these books, and that's one of the things that I think just makes this series as good as it is that there's sprinkling, and on the surface it is silly and stupid, and then there's things of what is a life worth. In book 1, halfway through book 1, we're already contemplating the value of human life. Human and non-human life, because then, we've got Donut too, so... Who makes sure in this section that we know that it's a problem whenever they say human. Why aren't they saying or feline?
Right.
Cat manatee. Is that what exactly put earlier in the chat? I love that.
Yeah. Who decides the value of life is an important theme in this book. That is the entirety of Operation Bounce House as well. I think Matt Dinniman really
can't wait.
This is a theme. Yeah, that he likes to explore is who decides how valuable life is.
I will say, sorry, was that me? Sorry.
It's your turn. Go for it.
Oh no, there was ringing, I felt like. I will say that I think that Matt was smart here because he gave us characters like the underdogs to really root for. And by putting these characters in place, from a gaming standpoint or a progression standpoint, they're already getting super duper strong, and you don't want it to be too easy, right? So right. Matt takes the game mode here, he shoves that in, or not shoves, but you know what I mean, delicately places elegantly, I don't know, but he puts that in there, and I think that that's a really great moment for the reader as well, because now you have an underdog to cheer for, but you also have a character who's becoming extremely powerful that now has weight to carry, or an obstacle in his way, that kind of thing. So I think Meadowlark was meant to make us love them, but also to pull Carl back down to reality, if you will.
I think, yeah. And I love that. Again, I think that that's just so strength of the series, that you can see that they were put there to help develop Carl's character, like as a writing point of view, that they were put there, as an obstacle for Carl and Donut, our MCs, to deal with. And yet they all had such wonderful personalities on their own. They all stand on their own. We love them all. We grow to love many of them quite a bit throughout the series. So it's, this plot device that's put there that actually is fantastic characters too. So many times in books, it's like, oh, here, I'm going to run into nameless person that is just there to challenge something for the main character, but isn't real on their own. And all of these characters feel real, and they're all fleshed out. And I think we continue to see that throughout the series. You just talked a little, Run, about the gaming, and I almost want to skip to that a little bit. One of the things that happens within these chapters, specifically, let's see, I wrote down all of my things. In chapter 25, after they meet Meadowlark, then right after that, Donut and Carl have their next boss fight, the Juicer, with "Don't you even lift, bro? Bro!" And so, like, the Juicer fight is a fun one to talk about. But right after that, then they go and they meet Mordecai, and they see Mordecai, and they're talking about how Donut is really strong, but the Juicer almost killed her. And really goes into her stats and the fact that she has an extremely high strength but low constitution, and that she can't do all these things, but also her intelligence is so high that she should have cast the scroll. It's very gamey. And that whole chapter, like, as somebody who plays D&D in a way that is considered min-maxed, that I'm always thinking about minimizing, the downfalls to maximize I look at more of efficiency, less of min-maxing. It's not about power gaming. It's about efficiency. But still, that whole chapter felt very D&D, felt very gamey, and and as a gamer, I loved it. I'm curious, though, if it hit with anybody, and if either of you have any of the insight, or anybody in the chat section right now. That chapter, it has so much with stats, so much with if you cast this skill at this stat and this, and then if you wait 2 minutes, I was fine with that, but I'm not sure how somebody who isn't a gamer would have taken it. So, are both of you gamers?
I am, but I have the attention span of a goldfish most of the time. So a lot of the time when those stats come up, I kind of am picking pieces out of it to kind of understand the generality, and then I'm moving on. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sitting there updating character sheets mentally or anything like that. I'm kind of did it work thematically? Okay, moving on. So
I'm a video gamer. I haven't played D&D in 10 years. But I used to. But I did like that Mordecai was basically saying that, if you're going to really survive this long term, you're going to have to shift your strategy from just going in head first and being a brawler to really thinking about what your each unique skill sets are and how to maximize the efficiency of those skill sets. And you're going to have to work together. You're going to have to share and work together. And shortly after, shortly after that, that's when Donut and him really go grind. And he does start talking about how he's starting to see her take a stance, and he knows exactly what she's going to shoot. And then he knows, how to, and they start to really work together as a team.
Yeah.
Which they really struggled to throughout the entire book up to that point. I mean, when he went to the cockroach later, she was just like, I'm over here. I'm not going to even help you out.
No, Carl, you got it. No, you're fine. Yeah.
That's where Mordecai really also becomes somebody who starts giving them really starts using his own experience to really help them survive. I think.
And I like that too, because previously Carl had said, Donut, you're so strong, you need to get in there and get your claws dirty. Essentially, like, he told Donut to go in, like, hand to hand. And Mordecai's like,
And he
what are
was
you
wrong.
thinking? She has no constitution. She will die. That was bad advice. Don't do that. And so it does sort of look at, like, even within something like D&D, you can have one character and two players playing that character very differently. And Mordecai probably has a little more experience with it. I think that, oh my God, Chad, hold on. I missed the Minecraft shout out. Hold on. I have to go and find that comment. That section was for me, very D&D. Then when they get back together with Meadowlark and they fight their burrow boss, the ball of swine, that to me felt very video game. Like, they had the whole setup and they had all these things that they built and they talked about construction. And then when the ball of swine rolled towards them, like, I really, really tried listening. I was really paying attention to the whole thing. The whole thing was a whirlwind. It was just chaotic. And I felt like it was really mimicking a video game. Like, it was just button mashing. Oh my God, the boss. Like, I had this whole idea, but right now I'm literally just button mashing. And it felt like that on the page. So much so, like, and then it was just over. And they all just sort of look at each other. They don't cheer. There's no fanfare. There's no celebration. They're just like, okay, we did it. And so that fight, because then they're fighting directly with Brandon and Chris and Imani and Yolanda. That fight, I mean, similar feelings? Anything else you want to talk about with their burrow boss fight while I try to look through the comments for a Minecraft?
Well, the one thing I was going to say is that it's funny you call this chaotic, because for me, this was one of the moments, like, sometimes I visualize what's going on in my head. Other times, like, I'm just listening to the story.
Yeah.
This was that moment for me where I saw everything in my head, where I felt like Matt did such a good job with describing the scene and explaining, like, where everything was laid out in the room and stuff. And I was there with them. I was like, oh my God. Like, it was, for me, like, it was chaotic, but I was like, it is such a good mental, like, the way he describes it and the way he just, like, builds that pacing and stuff. I was sold.
Yeah. And what's great about it is again, right after Mordecai's little advice, it was the very first time that Carl went in with a solid strategy, and he was really utilizing a solid strategy, and there was a plan, and you got to see, okay, Carl can make a plan. That's really impressive, and I think that's why it was such a great descriptive battle, because it was a turning point as far as his approach to boss battles go.
And he had tried to plan some things, like even previously with the Goblin Chieftain, like, he had the thing with the bombs, but I think he learned from that, like, okay, I thought I had a plan. I really need to think out all of the steps. And I love that even in book 1, every boss battle they approach differently. They have a unique approach, that they do have to have a plan, that they strategize, that they're able to go into some of them and just, like, take them out almost before the fight even starts. But again, I think it just shows this is not going to be guy charges in and punches everything to death.
And speaking of that, how video game is that? I mean, how many of us have found a way to defeat a difficult character or a boss or whatever in some kind of cheaty way? Like, you hide behind the right angle and you just shoot, and and that's what we would do, and that's what we do in video game, and I love how that kind of reflected in the way that he's trying to approach these boss battles.
I think a lot of video games expect that's how, like, that you just charge in. And so that's why, like, every time, like, there are video games I play that I'm like, oh, I want to have this whole strategy. I'm like, oh, the game just wants me to charge in. And so I'm just going to charge in. Baldur's Gate 3 threw me for a loop, though, that I kept trying to just charge in. And I was like, why is this game hard? Is this really supposed to be this hard? And I'm like, oh, you have to strategize. And yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times the whole they have to grind. I mean, in RPG games, I'll grind for hours and hours and hours and hours before I move on in the storyline. And I love that's an element of this experience as well.
I actually really like that. That was something that came up a lot at Lit RPG Con, with the idea of, like, do you like how overpowered do you like your MCs? And that, because a lot of Lit RPG, the characters and a lot of the authors have this viewpoint too, that they are like, who wants to read about boring normal people? We want, like, as overpowered as possible. And so a lot of Lit RPG has MCs that are very extremely overpowered almost immediately. And I like overpowered, but I want to see my characters get there. I want to feel that it's deserved. And that again, I think probably says something about me like morally or ethically, but still, I want to know that it's deserved, that they work for it. It's one of the reasons why I love the series, All the Skills, is that like really his superpower and all the skills is he can learn a little bit better. That's it. That's his entire superpower. And he becomes the most overpowered like being eventually because he can learn a little bit better. And that's a little bit faster and he can retain it a little bit better. And that's it. That's the entirety of his superpower. But I love that because he's just learning. And I love these because all of everything that Carl has and how high level he eventually gets, it feels deserved. He worked his ass off. He tested all of these bombs. He tried so hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You made me think of like Mayor of Noobtown.
Yes.
I don't know if you've read that
I read book one.
Like where he just continuously like fails and then he does something wrong and then Shark's like, no, you're an idiot. And he's like, yeah, I am. I like that type of progression.
I like that too.
So it really does good things for me. Like Star Wars franchise, man, I really struggled when Rey was just like powerful. Like I feel like she didn't work for it. She didn't. And so it really bugged me to watch the rest of Star Wars because it was just handed to her on a plate. Sorry, I know that's a random reference, but like I love when characters don't start out too far out. I like that they have to learn and things like that. I'm an isekai girl all day, every day, and most of those characters start out OP, but they have some weird skill they have to figure out how to be like utilize OP. And so maybe that's where they have to earn it, like you said. Absolutely, gotta earn it.
One of the references that they talked about at Lit RPG Con a couple times, I saw it at least 2 different panels. I think it was the same author that talked about it, but with overpowered was they talk about One Punch Man and the anime One Punch Man. And I only know of it. I don't know it, but you know, like I love the summary of it is here's a guy who can literally solve anything with one punch. That's his character. He can literally. So what makes it interesting, what makes the story good is put him in lots of situations where punching doesn't work. Like, you know, now suddenly, you know, you have a social conflict. Well, you can't solve that with a punch. So like, even if you make your characters really OPs, you have to still find things to put them in that they don't work. One of the things that I think this really showed right here in these chapters, the 20 through 31, is they put Odette, they put Carl and Donut on Odette's show. And so they put them in front of a camera and had them actually do their first, their first appearance. Carl sucks.
Yeah.
like it's not just that Donut's really good. Carl is terrible. And the social media aspect of this entire series, of this whole game show, of the apocalypse will be televised, is really important. It's just as important as the fighting in the dungeon is how many views they get, how many sponsors they get, how much notoriety they have. And that's 100% Donut. That's not Carl at all. Like Donut is so good.
She's PETA to Carl's
but even more so,
Katniss.
Right? Yes.
And I understand, I relate to Carl in that regard though, because I mean they have put him in a life. This isn't funny to him. This isn't a game
exactly.
to him. It's fun even for Donut. I mean, she's having a blast in a way, but for him, it's just so surreal. And I can't imagine wanting to go in front of an audience and perform for their entertainment when, eventually has to register his life is at stake. But at first it would seem like such a absurd sellout kind of thing to do with people dying all around me, and I would struggle. Like Carl does, and thank God for Donut in that regard. But I think that's it. It's my pain is not your entertainment. And he never really gives them that. He gets better at it, but he never really lets them get entertainment from his pain. Yeah. So, and I think the audience starts to love him for that too. He's, they're great foils. Donut and Carl are great foils as far as the personalities go when it comes to that relationship.
And we know that Carl eventually gets, a whole bunch of viewers and everything on his own. But still, Donut's the one that like made people want to watch Carl. And when they go on Odette's show, I mean, I am just astounded how good Donut is. I would never think to ask the questions she does, like immediately, like they didn't even know they're going to be there. They're transported. She's like, okay, what's the tone? Is this live? Is it taped? And she just like goes right off, and you're like, and even like, I love it. Like at one point, Carl's watching her as they're recording, and he has to like close his mouth because he's like, where did this come? Like, she's so good. She's so good at it.
Yeah. That's us too. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Peter. No, please.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just going to say that's us too, though, isn't it? I mean, would we read this book without Donut?
No.
Yeah. No. So I mean, she is the one that is carrying this story on her back.
As said several times, like Donut's the main character. Like,
yes,
it's like we're not quite sure why her manservant's name is on the cover, but this is the Donut series.
Yes.
And I love it because he writes. There's always this like about some people. There's just this certain je ne sais quoi, like I don't know what, that like draws you to them, and it's either you have it or you don't. And so it's like Carl's that hard worker, but he doesn't have that je ne sais quoi. Whereas Donut, I mean, not that she's not a hard worker, but she just has it. And it's interesting that Matt is able to kind of capture that essence, if you will, into a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it.
She's got
it's obvious he's a cat lover, because I think only a cat lover can see all of that and appreciate it. I love that about my cats. I love that they could give a shit if I'm home or not. Like, I love that they're just like, oh, you're back. Like, I went away for Thanksgiving and came home and they're like, oh, our water dish is a little dirty. Like, and I actually appreciate that, because then when they do give love and affection, like, it means that much more to me. Like, I like it when my dog snuggles me, but like, come on, she snuggled me no matter what, like the cats, they have a quality that you either love or you hate. And I think, this is a love letter to cats, this whole series.
Definitely.
I want to see some of the comments. I want to make sure that I'm getting some of the comments. Like when asking about the gaming pieces, I'm not a gamer, but I found it enjoyable in the sense it gave me a better explanation for how to break it down and for how things worked in the dungeon. Captain Heather says, gamer girly here. Love the stats. They were explained well enough that I didn't feel the need to break it down. Elena, not a D&D player, but I thought it was a very fun chapter. So, I think that there is a mix. I was just really curious, like, because I have my real life book club right there is reading Dungeon Crawler Carl for December, and we meet on Tuesday. And of course, it's supposed to have a snowstorm on Tuesday, so fingers crossed. But on Tuesday, but like the people at my book club, this is not their type of book, and most of them are not gamers. They read sci-fi, but like, I'm almost nervous. I'm hoping that they're not going to be like, I don't know, there were too many stats, there was too many achievements. That would make me sad.
Oh, that's the best, though. Like, one of my favorite quotes in the entire book happens actually in this set of chapters, which is, reward? Bitches don't get rewards. Like, that runs through my head rent-free all the time.
Yep. Like, there are so many good achievements and rewards. And, like, you lived. Like, when they go to second floor, like, what do you mean you want a reward for that? You're alive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think Matt really writes with his non-gamer audience in mind, and I think it's great that all the gaming elements in the book are presented by an actual character, which is the AI. So it has all that personality, and they're not just bland statistics. You get in some of these lit RPGs, if you're not a gamer, it's just stats after stats after stats, and it's like being listed by a computer. But the AI is an actually main character, and so that allows him to make even that part of the story very, very interesting. And then on top of that, you've got a million pop culture references that Gen Z and X will love. My sister's not a gamer, and she's absolutely in love with all the pop culture references in these books. She thinks they're hilarious, and she's like, he's got to be my age, is what she said. And I said, I think so, about right. But anyway.
He calls himself solidly Gen X.
Yeah.
So I'm not I'm gonna just really out myself as a serious stalker if I say more than that. His Facebook posts are public, and he should hide some of this stuff. Like, come on! I know all of his kids' names. Like, come on.
Oh no! Oh, not good.
No, it's public. And it shouldn't be.
So at Lit RPG Con, or was it a dragon? So, somebody somewhere told me this, that somebody went back and was like, I'll wear anything, I'll do something. I can't remember what it was. This was Matt saying it. And so they went back and found his high school photo. Oh, he'll sign anything is what it was. They went back and found his high school photo. That's stalking. That's shocking. Oh my gosh. Everybody else was laughing at it. I was like, I don't, I read stalker romances. I don't know about this. No. So,
reminds me of that SNL skit with Captain Kirk, have your horses given birth yet? He's, how do you know about my horses? It's like William Shatner and it's all like the obsessive stalker fans. So, but it gets like that, hey, it's his fault for writing an amazing series that everybody's obsessed about.
Yeah.
His life is now public domain.
That's what happens when suddenly you write bestsellers like this. And when all of your when on your Facebook that's public, you tag your family and they all have public Facebook posts pages as well.
Yeah.
Again, he needs to tell his teen kids not to have all this public information.
Yep. You're now part of it.
Fair enough. I mean, that's like going from not being famous to being famous very, very
that's
quickly.
True.
I think like you don't know what you don't know till you find out you don't know.
And it was fairly quick. Like there's so many people that found the books this year, which is I've been on TikTok since the pandemic, but I didn't really get into Book Talk until July, until Lit RPG Con, like same time frame, and that was July. So. But I read these books in 2022 and started the series in 2022. It was nowhere. Like I made a post in 2022 about one of the best books I read this year. It was called Dungeon Crawler Carl. Crickets. There wasn't even anything to tag at the time. Like nobody was talking about these. The only place that was talking about it at all was Reddit. And it was just the same. It was just the same over and over and over.
It's such a niche genre. I had never even heard of the genre until this year. And that's crazy because I love RPGs. That's one of my favorite kind of game to play. But I just didn't ever hear about it. And it was Book Talk.
Yeah.
Just started trending.
Yeah, exactly. It was like other people are talking about this thing I've been obsessed with for years that I literally have walked around to people. Like I go to a meetup every month that's karaoke. It's at the seediest bar ever. It's so much fun. The worst things in the world happen there. I have the best stories after every single time because such depraved things happen in this bar. And yet I spend the majority of the time being like, have I told you yet about this book series I'm obsessed with? And for years I've been doing this.
I'm still disappointed that I can wear all my, Princess Donut shirts out and people will say, oh, I love that shirt. I'm like, thank you. Do you get the reference? And they're like, no. And then I get to tell them about the book, which is great advertising. But it's just amazes me that I can walk around and no one says, Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is, of course, what I'm going for. It's getting better, though. People are recognizing it a little bit more, but you have to go to the right places.
You have to go to the right places. Exactly. Like, even when I've, told so many people, I'm once again wearing, I have to, my shout out, my Desperado Club design. Because I made it Art Deco. I do have this, I have to say it, I have this linked in my profile. I only make a couple bucks if anybody buys one, but any proceeds will go towards me being able to buy Christmas presents for my kids. So hey. And I have my Growler Gary thing there too, so it's fun.
That's awesome. One thing I did want to say, sorry, kind of random and off topic. I'm definitely getting me a shirt, by the way, because I love that. But I've been to a few of these book clubs before, and I just want to point out, you have some amazing comments in these sections, going on. Graham Cole had some really fun.
Graham Cole just had one that I literally I saw one too.
Not to toot your guys' horns here, but my God, yes, please. Okay, all right. I had to.
There are a couple comments here that I think are really good. One, let's see, the Stat and Story guys that I just got to chapter 33 tonight. I'm hoping that's a reread, but if it is your first time, let us know, and we'll be a little more careful about different spoilers. Donut running point in Odette's interview was the first time she felt genuinely powerful to the team, Heather says. I think she felt powerful before because it's Donut, but I think that's the first time we all also...
She was in her element.
She was completely in her element. It was her show. I think it was... somebody asked about the bosses. Book 1, bosses. Hoarder, Goblin Chieftain, and Juicer. Yes, and then the swine. And then the ball of swine is the burrow boss, which happens in these chapters.
And then there's a big boss coming up. We won't talk about.
Yeah, and then, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was going to say, but floor 1, no, this is floor 2 as well. All right, so here are some other things that I wanted to talk about. So it's some of the characters. We've talked about Meadowlark. I think Agatha is worth conversation because these are the chapters we meet Agatha, and it is clear from the beginning there is some shady stuff going on. I love Agatha so much. And again, we're going to try to stay a little spoiler free with this.
Ginger and the foxes are
I
here.
am sending right now. I did. Thank you for pointing that out.
I didn't know.
Let's see if I want to see your lovely faces.
Hi.
We hear you.
Can you see us?
Now we can.
Hi.
Are you really at Disney right now?
Yeah. Right now. There's Epcot Ball.
Wow.
Why are you on rides?
The show just ended. Everything's getting ready to close. So we wanted to pop on here and see what you guys were talking about.
We're talking about Agatha. Do you guys love
Agatha? Oh my goodness. I have so many theories about Agatha. It's a little crazy. She's nuts.
Yeah, and because we're talking about the chapters when we first meet her. We had never met her before. So what were your first impressions of Agatha?
The first impressions of Agatha, like when she first, like when Meadowlark first like was talking about her, and you see her with her shopping cart, and at first you're like, oh, okay, this is just a crazy old woman.
I had a feeling that she set the fire, but I didn't know why.
Yeah. So, like, you know, you just like, oh, okay, this is just, you know, another regular homeless person, you know, whatever. But then when she joins in, and they're in the battle, and she just walks right in, that's when I thought, okay, something's up.
What's happening?
Woman,
And then the show edits her out, like right immediately. And so you're like, whoa.
Well, and everybody was guessing. They're like, maybe she's dead, but that wouldn't make any sense, you know, because there's plenty of dead people that make it to the show. So that's right there, that's your first clue. Your first clue that something's up. This woman's a little nuts. And then when she freaks out about the shopping cart, it's the same type of thing. You know that somebody who's mentally unstable, if you take their stuff, is going to freak out a little bit. But the way she got very aggressive and freaked out. And then even at the very end of, you know, the book where he and Carl and Donut are sitting in the roundabout, and he's going through and he sees the things that he had.
In his own inventory,
Yes. And then he realizes where it's from, and he sees her, and he starts to say something about, hey, about your cart, and she turns, and she, like, gives him that look, and then he's like, maybe I imagined it because it was gone.
I think it was the combo of her being suspicious, and then the with Borant clearly not wanting to give her any airtime, just told us that she was going to be somebody.
Oh, yeah. 100%. So.
Did anybody have any early ideas in that book 1? Only book 1. We know something's going on, but, like, I don't think we even knew enough to conceive of anything at that point.
No. Like, I hadn't even...
And let's not give too many spoilers, because you're reading along with the more...
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. But, like, just in book 1, meeting Agatha for the first time, you know something's off, but you're not sure what it is. So... And it's such a good character development in that way, and just learning more about her later.
Well, there's been a lot of development. It's more like the Easter eggs keep unfolding. It's that she is not growing as a character. It's just that you're learning more about what she may be doing.
Well, at the end of one of the books, you know, you. But
we're only talking about book 1.
Oh, so in book 1,
talking about book 1.
Just book 1.
Just book 1. Then as of book 1, you know she's something, but you have no idea what, which is great. I love
Peter, did you have a suspicion? You sort of like were nodded when I said that.
Of course, the timing of the fire was suspicious. Just like the timing of Donut jumping out of the window is kind of suspicious too.
Sure.
In the fact that there's some serendipity there that's at work. But within the chapters that we're discussing, 21 through 32, that is the first time that Carl asked the question of, why are all these alien cultures have these human elements, right?
Yeah.
And then we get the bit of information that they've been seeding planets with human beings for centuries, and even some of the people that look like human beings are aliens living amongst us, which is then when I thought about, maybe, Agatha is one of those seeded human beings. So we're given that much information to maybe...
That's true. That's a very good point. Absolutely.
I think the moment that it triggered for me that Agatha was more than she appeared was when Chris is explaining how they got all the Meadowlark residents down. Agatha goes, "I saved all of them." And
that's true, yeah. She's cackling and pushing her shopping cart like, "Ha-ha, I saved you guys."
Yeah. She knew the ramp would go down. I think Chris said something like it's almost as she knew or something like that. What was the moment you're like, well, okay, she can't not be a part of the crawl in some capacity, but how?
Well, also, I think to point out, like Chris points out, or Brandon points out at the very beginning, hey, she hasn't gone through the tutorial. She doesn't have anything unlocked, but she still manages to level up, and she still, is alive. So that's,
Oh, I think they froze.
Oh no, that Wi-Fi at Disney. That's so incredible. They're just standing there with Epcot in the background, by the way. That is epic for me. I love Disney.
Let's see. I'm going to disconnect.
Sorry.
Oh no. And then I am so sorry you were frozen. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. If you request again, then we can get you guys back in, but you should also be enjoying Disney because that's fun. There we go.
This just shows how much they love Dungeon Crawler Carl. They're at Disney and they just
we
want
all
to talk
know
about
that they love it that much. You all froze. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No problem. We were trying to turn the volume down and there was a lot going on. We're trying to just make it work.
I'm an iPhone person. This is an Android.
She just hit the off button. It's like,
it's where the volume down is supposed to be.
Right.
Amazing.
That sounds like something I do. So I think that we get this look at Agatha in these chapters that really is just what is happening. It's hinting at so much more, and I love that about these books. And that
absolutely.
Right here in the beginning, right here in book 1, we're seeing there is so much more than just Jonah and Carl happening.
Oh, definitely. You really start to get a feel for how the characters are going to start to flesh out, and that there's going to be a lot more people involved, which I'm all for.
Yes. Yeah, there's another point, let's see. There's another point within this system. Oh crap, that really shows how much more there is. With everything with Odette, and when we meet Odette, we also then find out that there's something going on with Odette and Mordecai.
Yes.
And they just keep saying, we don't have time to get into it now. We don't have time. But we know that there is some big story with Odette and Mordecai. And I think it just shows that, again, there's a lot happening that is not Donut and Carl. And that just goes to show how big this world is, how much is happening behind the scenes. And I think that's one of the reasons why, that does pull me in and pull people into wanting to keep going. Wait, what about the personal space on the 4th floor? What about all of these things that happen on floors 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18? What is this Desperado Club? It just keeps hinting at things that will come.
Well, we likened that to Dungeons and Dragons early, where Matt could go literally anywhere. You could open any door, and there was an entire story behind it. But if he chose not to go that way, or if somebody commented on his Patreon and was like, haha, I've got this idea, he could just diverge and never hit that
and
again.
be like, nope.
Yep.
Which we love.
We do, and I wonder how much of that is because he was publishing all of this on Royal Road live, essentially, for people reading it as it was going. And there are things like the book 3 with the Anarchist Cookbook that came into play because readers said this would be fun to add. And he added the cookbook because readers suggested adding the cookbook.
See, and I would love to know that, but I don't think Matt will ever share that with us. No. It'll always be a mystery.
He'll lie about it.
Or he'll lie.
Exactly.
Rule 1, the doctor lies.
Yes.
But it does make it so, like, he can put these chapters out and then look to see what the suspicions are and go in a crafty, different direction. Which is what we were all hoping Game of Thrones people did during the show, and none of them paid attention to any fan movies, and they should have.
So I'm curious, Persephone mentioned that she voted for a few things on Patreon. I'm curious as to what things, like, did any of you vote on things on Patreon? If so, what did you vote on?
I've been on his Patreon for probably about 2 years. It was more because it was maybe just over a year, because it was before Book 7 came out that I joined his Patreon. But I purposely did not go to Patreon very often because I didn't want to see anything from Book 7.
We're not allowed to read it. Only Kenneth is allowed to read it to give us all the insight, but he doesn't want us to be able to share spoilers.
Yeah, because we know I'm going to.
Patreon posts are like, hey, FYI, Operation Bounce House arcs, if you want them, like, you should go and do that. And literally, the next sentence is the next chapter from the book.
Yes.
Like, it's not separate.
No, it's all right there.
It's all right there. And it will be like, chapter 33, and I haven't read this, so this is just me making it up. So Donut died today. Like, it will be things like that. Like, literally right next to the announcements. So I didn't vote on anything, even though I've been joining his Patreon way before Book 7 came out, but mostly because I don't pay too close of attention to his Patreon on purpose.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. I was just curious. I don't want spoilers either, so thank you for letting me.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having us. We're going to get going, but you guys are doing such a great job. We love the book club. So everybody, have a great night.
Be safe.
Thank you. Have fun.
Bye.
In Disney.
Okay.
I'm so jelly.
How do we leave? Just turn it off.
I don't know how to do.
Press the volume button.
Just turn it down. That will work.
I love them so much.
Yeah, they are fantastic. I am just aside, and then I want to talk about the other discussion questions. But their narrator Olympics that's coming up. No, what does it stand for? I don't know what it is, but it's no. I'm really excited about that because they have some amazing narrators and authors coming in.
Yeah,
so
I don't know what it stands for.
Annual audiobook narration Olympics. Or something like that.
Yeah. Yes, because
you get a gold star. Somebody give Peter a gold star in the chat.
Something. I might be wrong about the first letter, but anyway.
I think you're right. I think that's exactly what it is. Persephone J says, I can't tell you some of the things we voted for because of spoilers. So there's some things that are coming in book 8 or further.
Ooh.
Don't tell us what they are, but
I don't want to know anything.
Never mind. I retract everything. I've done terrible things in my life. Please don't share.
I just want to know if voting for things in book 8. That's interesting. All right, can we talk really quickly about the geography of this floor? It's still floor 1. When he's riding his motorcycle, when he's about to meet Meadowlark, he rides his motorcycle for 100 miles. I thought Meadowlark was also in Seattle.
I'd have to go back and listen to that. The reason I don't feel like it is that, like, I think it's Chris, makes a reference to a small town.
He does. That Jeff pronounces wrong. That one?
Yeah,
there's a town that Matt just still gives Jeff shit for that he pronounces wrong, but it's some small town in Washington. And
I feel like he references like the hardware store, and that's where Agatha stole the paint from. So it made me feel like that wasn't Seattle. Was it Stan?
Stan's,
okay. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't really think they were still in Seattle-ish.
So Chad says Meadowlark is way east of Seattle. And then Banana-tastic 4. Meadowlark is in, I don't know how to pronounce that town. Wenatchee? What is it?
I took a stab. Wenatchee.
That one?
It sounds Native American to me.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, when he says, Yakima, but it's not Yakima. My husband was like, calm down. That's the town that Jeff pronounces really terribly.
Yakima.
That's right. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't remember how he said it, but Yes. All right. So, yeah, so he's driving his motorcycle forever. But then the other thing that confused me is they're driving their motorcycle and then they stop because they come to a crossroads and he sees mountains. When they describe this floor, they describe it as I'm going into a dungeon so much that he could touch the ceiling. Like, I'm picturing a tunnel and doors. And then he drives his motorcycle until he gets to a crossroads and there's mountains. So I just want to say, I think, there probably is real explanation. I probably was confused, but it does say that. I did look at it several times. But I want to stop hearing how confused the trains are when there's mountains in a tunnel.
In the dungeon, yeah.
Because this one was confusing too, but so what, right?
He sees the mountains. I thought he was saying if the geography matches, I should be under the such and such mountain.
I think that's what he's trying to say. When I went back and reread a couple times, I think that is what he's trying to say, but he says it in a way that sounds like he's looking at the mountains right then. Like it's very, it's in chapter 21. He talks about a mountain range. So I think
that was my interpretation.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it lends itself to, you would understand why somebody would be confused. So stop with the damn trains. Iron Tangle was fine. I love book 3. I don't like
Iron Tangle was confusing.
I think I said this last time, but I think book 3 is one of the most important books in the series because because it changes so much. It changes from just a grind to something a lot bigger and this political drama. And we see Katya actually become a character. We see so much that happened in book 3 that I think is really important. When I went back and looked at my Goodreads for the first time I'd read it, I said, wow, those trains were confusing, was literally the first thing I typed on my Goodreads in 2022. So I was like, oh, crap.
I didn't even bother trying to follow the trains at all. I think the one thing that I will say is it did feel very progression in that section with the geography. It kind of felt like, when you get into a starting area, you're very set on one path to kind of go in, and it does feel kind of more cramped and things like that. But as you progress and the bosses get bigger and the exploration gets bigger, the area that you can explore gets bigger. That's kind of how my brain kind of took this, was we start out and it's very small and cramped, and because they're, kind of testing everybody and tight corridors makes kind of wheedles out the riffraff that doesn't allow you to hide, kind of things like that. But as they start to actually move out from there, then that's where it got bigger. However, Meadowlark didn't start far from there, so I don't know the truth of that.
No, I think that this might be right, that wherever the nursing home was, they all went down the dungeon close to the final boss, and they did that. The burrow boss, we know that they were close to the burrow boss. And that with the stuff with the mountain range, he was talking about where it was IRL. But still, that just makes it sound like the dungeon is just a carbon copy of the surface, which we know it's not. But yeah,
well, it was. I'm sorry. He literally says that. There's a line in there, I feel like, where he literally says something to the effect of it's very clear this doesn't span the whole globe. That the geography is off.
Yes. Yeah, and then it does keep changing as they go up different floors. All right, let's see. Geography, we see more of the in chapter 25, Carl very specifically, after he meets a juicer, says that he thinks the bosses are caricatures and exaggerated stereotypes. Love these kitties. Which we have already seen, right? When we saw the hoarder initially, and Goblin Chieftain, I don't know how much, what caricature, because he didn't really see him. He never saw him. He just blew him up without ever even looking. So, we knew that they were caricatures, and then the juicer is obviously a stereotype too. But I like that it goes from, seeing the hoarder and having, a little bit of an icky feeling about the hoarder, because I think we're supposed to have a little bit of an icky feeling about her, to Carl blatantly saying that this is just a caricature. Chad said, "You're awesome." Thank you, Chad. You're awesome too. But But I think I like that in this that it specifically says that that they're taking these caricatures, these stereotypes, and mashing up real beings that existed, and sometimes like having them keep their memories, which is just messed up as hell. So I'm even trying to think of some. Obviously, when we talk about the crack Karen, that's a whole caricature.
I love
right in the name with the Karen. But I like that it specifically said that in chapter 25. So we know that like the stereotype stuff, like we're supposed to hate it. We're supposed to think, oh, this is a gross stereotype. It is. Because it is.
It's 100% corporate exploitation run rampant.
Yep.
And that's it. They're making a mockery of life. They're making a mockery of the entire planet for profit. And yeah, so I think it's supposed to be this repulsive thing to us.
Yeah, and it does. It works. It's repulsive, but we're mad at the game for doing it, not at Matt Dinniman for writing it.
And I talk to people who have been mad at him. The Hoarder especially is a very controversial boss.
It is.
And it's like, I think you're missing the point. I think you are missing the point. The feelings that you're having, you are supposed to have. Yeah. You're supposed to understand that Carl has those feelings. And it's trying to put you in there of, oh my God, I'm forced to do this. It's survival, and he has to do these terrible things, and he has to live with himself afterwards, like he said, which is why he has to try his best to be a good person as well.
Yeah.
And help people like the Meadowlark people when he can, and live for something, because he's going to be forced into all these different situations where he says, you're trying to break me, but I won't let you break me.
I won't let you. Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to break everybody who goes into that dungeon. They
are, because that's better for the views, right? Like it's not about the people. It's about what will get the most views. And I've seen a lot of videos on people who were really bothered by the Hoarder, and I get it. I understand. And like, it does take you reading quite a bit further to understand why we're supposed to hate it and why it was chosen. And so I get why some people might stop there. I would hope that they would give it a little bit more, but it's an ugly stereotype, and it's done on purpose. So I sort of like that with then, a lot of it is because he did choose to make her Hispanic and speaking Spanish, right? Like because then it goes into a stereotype with also that has a racial background too. And like, that's a little icky, but I like that right then we do then also meet like Yolanda, who is fantastic and amazing, and like giving another view of a non-caricature, non-stereotype Hispanic woman that is actually real and is wonderful. So, I like that it has that balance, but still it does ask you to almost trust a little bit and continue reading with the Hoarder to understand why we're supposed to be feeling those feelings.
Yeah, and not to get too far deep into the woods here, but isn't that what real corporations do to us in real life? They play upon our prejudices and our stereotypes, and they present a false sense of reality because it's more entertaining.
It's more entertaining. And
so the fact that he has this one real life person that isn't a stereotype, but yet the billionaire corporation here, this intergalactic corporation, is only has an investment in the racism and the stereotyping, and that's true. That's true in real life too. So, and it's especially poignant today. Yeah.
So. There's a lot in these books that are like, even in the very beginning, because I was like, I wasn't quite sure just from book one, like, is this a safe place? And like, not to get political, but it fucking matters to me. Like, right. Like, I need to know that the authors that I'm enjoying are safe human beings and care about humanity, because I'm just not interested in interacting or giving money to people who aren't. And, it's personal choice, but hey, that's a choice I'm going to make. So, like, because there's a lot of bro culture in book one. We talked about that too. And then, even with the Hoarder, but gosh, he drops a lot of hints as to, because all that sucks. Because that sucks. That corporate greed who are going to prey on us. They're doing it for money, not because it's good for us, because it's explicitly not.
I think one of the things that really, like, didn't catch me on that moment at all. Like it's kind of actually surprising me that people had problems with that, because in that moment, I feel like a lot of people that are hoarders, like we've had shows and things like that, like people are like, why can't they just get it together? You see TikToks all the time, like I did a free cleaning, and people are like, how could they let it get like that? You know? And in that moment, I felt like Matt treated it so softly. It like the way that Carl had empathy and understanding and really felt for this person, for the person she was in both life and in death.
Yeah.
He handled it so nicely compared to so many people that would be like, they don't deserve anything good because look at the state of their home.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little surprised to hear people got upset about it, actually.
Yeah, no, and I get it. I am, you know, because it's an author made a choice to write that, and so, you know, it's questionable. But that Carl also keeps thinking about her, right? Like he keeps thinking about the hoarder, and he keeps like, he's so disturbed by it. So it's not like it was a one and done. He thinks about her quite a bit, and like, you know, was she a real person? What was she doing with her daughter? Like, why is she sorry? Why is she, like, what's going on in her head? And then to be transported with those memories into this creature. Yeah.
And it's an important moment because of that reason. He's going to carry that with him to other levels, and it's going to define the way he behaves from this point forward, really. Towards the NPC, and you know, and it really makes him sort of everybody's ally. Mm-hmm. Like a safe place for everybody to go, even the NPCs. And it's because he has those life-altering, horrific moments. Yep. And he cares.
We're definitely going to talk about that next time when we talk about just the conclusion to book one, just like book one sort of summarized, as well as the very first Pineapple Cabaret. Because I think that there are a few things, there are very clearly a few things that add to this, like even the NPCs seeing them as safe. Literally, they help create the NPCs breaking free. So we're going to talk about that with a Pineapple Cabaret next time, because it's really good. And I have all of the physical copies of the books now, so I can finally read it. I just got book 6. Somebody sent me book 6, so I now have all physical copies. I'm very excited. Let's talk about, let's see. We had some foreshadowing. So at this point, I want to talk about some things that do sort of foreshadow into the future. So it's not going to be any huge spoilers, but just in case, if you don't want anything and you want to take this time. But there were a few things that were specifically mentioned here that do come up later. In chapter 21, Carl talks about how his dad was a motorcycle warrior. And obviously we know that his dad comes back up, and this here memories of his father is something that we're going to consistently see through the series. Very consistently until then we actually see his father. In chapter 25, Carl takes everything not bolted down. That comes up throughout the whole series. I think that is such a smart thing that Matt Dinniman did, just to assume that Carl picks up anything, because then if he had to be like, oh God, how the heck is Carl going to have a piece of a mirror? It's pretty easy to explain exactly why he has a piece of a mirror and why he can give somebody a mirror, because he has set up that he picks up everything. So of course he would have anything.
I thought when I read that, I didn't really think of it like, I mean, it is practical, right? But I really thought that was an homage to like gamers, because how many times have you gone to the random base in the third hallway to the right and smashed it to make sure there was nothing in there? Mm-hmm. Like, we're gamers. We're going to make sure we don't miss anything.
So like, as soon as he said that this, like, you know, oh, hey, this year it's special because the crawlers get infinite inventory, I think any gamer would be like, oh my God.
Every RPG player's dream.
You don't have to do inventory Tetris? This is incredible.
Yeah, that pesky weight limit.
Was that
our person get ignored, D&D? It's a weight limits. I hate that. I hate encumbrance. Like, screw that.
That's me playing any Elder Scroll game. I'm going to pick up the chair, the table, and then suddenly I can't move.
And
then you accidentally click on something that's red, so now it's stolen, and now the whole town guard, I'm like, it was a fork! Yeah. I accidentally stole a fork! Why does the whole town guard want to kill me?
Restart.
Yep. Go back, reload. Yes, Graham, we're going to talk about Rory and the Pineapple Cabaret after. So next week is the finish of book 1. I'm going to the library to read the Pineapple Cabaret. That's exactly what I was thinking I would have to do, and now I can read them myself. Let's see. All right, so one of the other things that I want to talk about with the ending is in chapter 31, they talk about how there are a whole bunch of old folks hanging out in the Waffle House, and they decide not to go down to the next floor. And Carl specifically says, you know what? I think about them just having fun in the Waffle House, deciding to go out on their own terms. And they're not going to play the game. They're going to say, you know what? Screw it. Like, you want me to do this thing? I'm not going to do this thing. I'm going to have fun in a Waffle House and go out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Operation Bounce House has almost the exact same thing happen within that book. And it's just conversation. This isn't giving anything away. This is at one point, our main characters on New Sonora they're getting attacked by all these mechs being piloted remotely from kids on Earth, who are basically all the kids on Earth that are doing this Operation Bounce House and trying to kill everybody on New Sonora. They are the audience that we see in the next set of chapters on the next talk show with the Glurp Glurp. They're all the kids that go Glurp 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 Glurp. They're like that whole Death Watch crowd, and that they pleasure in seeing people die and in pain. Matt's taken that group of humans that exist, and they're in Operation Bounce House, the kids who pilot all these mechs to go to New Sonora and annihilate a planet and kill every single human on the planet. That's the premise. But at one point, our main characters, they're up against what they see as insurmountable odds. They're just kids. They're farmers and they're kids, and they're up against literal mechs. Just, blazing through them. Say, what if we say, screw it, we're going to die. So we're going to die on our terms. We're going to go out there. We're going to play our shitty band. We're going to do a concert, and we're going to go out like that. And I'm not saying that's how it ends. I'm saying it's a conversation that happens. I can't help but think that at some point, Carl and Donut are going to think, screw this. We're going out on our own terms. And I don't think that's how the series is going to end, but I can't help but think that might be a conversation that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And, the fact that Matt Ditterman alludes to that type of ending makes me think that could be considered. Which is sad, but...
Yeah.
Do you not think that that's already how they're doing it anyway? You know what I mean? Like, Carl is like, hell no. Like, F off, y'all suck. I'm out. Like, I'm doing this. Like, literally the faction wars, like everything involved with that was, well, okay, we don't want to go too far.
Yeah, but still, it was on their terms, very much so.
Right.
I feel like that's like what Carl said he's going to do. I feel like we really get that sense in future books. Especially the cookbook, like I'm like, they're already there. Also, dang, for Bounce House, I was thinking it was more like an Ender's Game kind of situation, and I didn't realize it was the Glurp Glurp kids. So
they're not the main characters, but the Glurp Glurp kids they're the ones killing and causing a literal genocide on this planet.
It's Ender's Game from the Bug's perspective. It sounds like.
So it's still from the main characters are the kids on New Sonora. They're just the farmers. They're the kids, and they just literally they're out farming and see mechs landing on their planet and say, "What the hell? What's happening?" And it's mechs from Earth that are privatized military. Literally, kids bought passes to pilot mechs and kill and murder children.
They're actually from Earth, though, or an Earth-like planet?
No, it's Earth. So Earth has settled other planets. And so New Sonora is one of the planets that's been settled by colonists. And so they are now like they're several generations in on New Sonora. And Earth can remotely, they've sent these real mechs to the planet, and kids on Earth are remotely piloting them through a pinhole system of communication where they can get Wi-Fi instantly, basically.
Kind of like they're playing their own real life video game, though.
They're playing, but they are very aware that it's real.
But they know,
and they're real, and that they're killing real people.
I feel like I have a loading screen like right now. It's like Run's brain is loading. I'm like trying to like figure out like how do these timelines work together? You know, if those kids were in the audience going blurb blurb blurb, like
I don't think it's actually those kids. I'm saying it's the same personality. It's
Yeah.
the exact
Okay.
those types of kids. That it's like the kids who in Prince Stalwart's like, you know, glurp glurp, they are so excited to see people hurt. It's the same exact personality that Matt Dinniman has picked up and put in Operation Bounce House.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, same personality. So just like, you know, because the two have nothing to do with each other. Operation Bounce House is standalone, but still like that. They're going out on their own terms. It's a Waffle House. It's, you know, these kids on New Sonora thinking maybe we're just going to play in a band and die that way. It's clearly something that Matt Dinniman has thought about in terms of how can something that is so insurmountable be ended on your own terms.
Could you do it? Could you sit in that Waffle House?
I don't know. I think I'd want to, but I like if there's a chance, then there's a chance, right? Like, because you can only sit in that Waffle House once.
Yeah.
You can only wait out once. So if there's a chance of continuing, why not try? And I think that's what Meadowlark really shows us too, is these folks who literally can't even walk. Some of them are going to become pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you, Ron, could you stay in the Waffle House or would you keep going?
I'd keep going. I'd keep going for others, if not for myself. But the thought of like sitting there till the last second and then just letting it all go, I couldn't. Like, there's so much more to live for. There's more people to live for. What about you, Peter?
I'm a survivor. I'd have to hold out hope. I'd have to hold out hope to the last minute. So yeah, I don't think I could do it either. However, though, we're thinking from perspective of who we are now, not 98 years old in a wheelchair somewhere, thinking I lived a good life and I've got no world to fight for anymore. And how many years do I got left? You know, so I can understand that mentality coming from. I would respect the decision coming from a lot of those people.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess that's fair. If you can't hobble down the stairs, how are you going to get to the next floor?
And it's like what the decision Imani makes. You know, she has this group of people. They're helpless. She cannot get them out, and they're going to get burned alive.
And so exactly.
And so she decides to end their life as quickly and painlessly as possible. And that would be, in that situation, a fairly instantaneous way to make that choice. Because I imagine it's kind of like a submarine imploding. It's like it happens in a second and you're gone, and you don't even know what happened to you.
You hope.
So not to be really morbid. Yeah.
But she's the one, like, so it's like as painless as possible for them, but Imani has to live with that. Mm-hmm. And she lives with that forever. And we see the toll that it takes on her. Because it definitely takes a toll.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Oh, this is so heavy. My God.
All right, I want to stop then. I think the last real thing that I have on here is we end in chapter 32. And in chapter 32, Carl and Donut find what's perhaps my favorite pamphlet in the entire series. They find talk about picturing things. I can see, like, you know what font this pamphlet is in, right? Like, this is in Comic Sans. It's in, like, old Microsoft Office, like, word art. Like, you know that the entire pamphlet, rev up, not a pyramid, be your own boss, mostly safe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I chose chapter 32 to end because chapter 33 starts with the fight. And like that's when they start fighting. And basically, except for one scene, the rest of the book is just like almost a fight. It's just one long fight scene. And so I thought 32, like they know that the Krakarian and all of the fairies are there, but they haven't actually met any of them yet. And so that's where chapter 32 stops. But I love that they find the pamphlet, and Donut's first thought is, I want to be a Rev Up consultant. Yeah. I can be my own boss, Carl.
Yeah.
I love her innocence. Oh my God. I love her innocence. It's the best part of the book.
It really is.
And speaking of this person who's fallen victim to a couple of pyramid schemes, They always do tell you, I know you think this is a pyramid scheme, but it's not a pyramid scheme. It sounds exactly like one, but it isn't.
Exactly. So, but then the pamphlet has pyramids all over it that are just written, not a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It's one of the funniest things that I can picture from this entire series. Like I've made some images like for t-shirts that are like that. I'm like, this whole thing, like it doesn't even work on a t-shirt because it's the whole thing is it's a trifold pamphlet and you need the whole pamphlet. That's what's funny about it.
I think that for Lit RPG Con, not to like keep pushing Lit RPG Con at everybody in chat,
but seriously, you should. I've already bought my tickets.
Me too. Peter, get on it.
I gotta go for it. Yeah.
It's incredible.
I skipped Dragon Con for the very first time this last time, and that was when Matt Denneman was there. I thought, oh god. I'm going to Dragon Con, and I'll try to get Lit RPG.
Please do. It's so good. And if you don't have your tickets in chat, please get them because it's going to be epic. Anyway,
July in Denver. It's in July in Denver.
Yeah, it's amazing. But that being said, I think that what we need to do is we need to print these pamphlets out, and I think we need to hand these out as we do. And I think we should sign people up.
All right.
And
I'm going to give you something to talk about, and then I have to run and get something because then I got it at Lit Con. That's so good. But it's on my refrigerator. Okay, so I'm going to walk away. But you guys, I want you to keep talking in general about like, you know, these chapters. Some other things that happen in here is like they get a drink pass for the Desperado Club. They talk about Gruul. Mordecai says there are no real gods. Like there's a lot of foreshadowing. And so like the first time you read these books, like how much of that like made you interested to continue to read? How much of it was just like, oh, that's cool. Like there's so much foreshadowing. I think it adds, but I want to hear feedback.
Okay. I think that what I love about the fact that it was so clear in this very first book that he had what's the word I'm looking for? He was dropping seeds, you know, like constantly. Easter eggs. Yeah, Easter eggs are just little teases over and over again about all the things that were coming down the road, which of course shows that this person has a big epic story to tell you, and it's going to be worth sticking with it. And I think that that's a really a great thing that he does with his writing. You know, he's got it really planned out. And I like it when I feel like an author has it planned out and they're not just like playing D&D at home and rolling the dice and, you know, then they're going to decide where it goes from there. So,
does it make you, I want to hear what you have to say too, but Peter, I want to know after, does it make it feel any less that he doesn't have it all planned out? That he's just writing it? But Ron, you go first, and then.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Geneva, actually from Lit RPG Con, we've been plugging this.
Have we? Did we just summon Geneva?
We did. So that's why I forgot. But please, Peter, continue. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no. But like, what did you? So like, with all the foreshadowing, did that add? Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it adds for me. I love being teased about what's coming down the road. You know. Or made to think about what on earth that means, you know. But I'm looking at the comments here and seeing what they're saying about his writing.
So Matt Dinniman calls himself a pantser, so he doesn't. He just writes. He writes literally one chapter at a time. He doesn't plan the whole thing out. He literally just he
just drops an idea and then says, "I'm going to figure that out later on."
Yep. And so, literally, and so like that's how he writes. Is that he just like starts putting in things like oh, there's this drink pass for the Desperado Club. I'll figure out that later. And then separately, what he said was he has an enormous spreadsheet. Like it's something like 71 tabs, but with every little detail he's ever dropped so that he can track it and go back later and be like, oh, hey, I mentioned that, like a card. Like, so this is something I got at Lit RPG Con. I know it's backwards, but still valid for a foot massage. I also got another one that was like something about like a foot club, and there was a QR code on it. And I was like, what the hell? But you scan it and it goes to like a foot website.
It's Richie's. No, it's Richie's. I know it's Richie's page.
No, I don't know. This one might be real. But
it's only feet or something.
Yeah,
Where's my
it's
phone?
Oh my gosh.
basically, but it's a real one.
Sorry, am I allowed to say that online?
So he described his writing process that he knows what the very end of the series is going to be. He knows, how the whole thing's going to end, but he doesn't know
How he's going to get there.
how he's going to get there. And so literally writes, he doesn't do a whole outline, does chapter by chapter. So, I think what is amazing is that he drops in all these little details, and every single one does come back. Every single one. That block narrative from chapter 1, page 2, that's 2 pages of just AI, like every single word comes back. But you don't need to know it the first time through. And I love that. I love the connecting of dots. Even if I know that the author hasn't actually connected them all, but I know he will. I trust that he will.
I'm very impressed by that because, I really, not knowing that this is what he said about his writing process, that I did not pick up on that. I would have thought that he had all these interconnected ideas worked out in advance. So that's incredible. That's neat. That's really neat.
I guess if he's having people vote on things, like, I guess he doesn't. But I could kind of see that now that you said it was called a pantser.
Pantser, flying by the seat of its pants. Is planner or pantser?
Okay.
Pantser, okay.
Like, so like the two archetypes of, and most authors are somewhere in between, right? But they still, most of them say, are you more of a pantser or more of a planner? Where you have like an outline at first, and he describes himself more as a pantser.
Wow.
Interesting. I mean, I guess I could see that. The way that his threads kind of like, I don't want to say fall off because they don't fall off, but at the same time, like if he's not like seeing how to connect them, like it's almost as if they're just hidden from us for a time. And then I'm thinking of like Agatha, or these other things. And so that was kind of, I think for me, especially, because I ate those books up, and I'm dyslexic, so being a narrator and like an avid reader is so great, let me tell you. But like I remember just like boom, 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 like, can I take today off of work so I can
read more?
And I think it's like that he leaves us on the edge on so many things, and it's like I have to know what happens to Meadowlark. I have to know what happens to Donut. I have to know, what is Agatha up to? He gives you all these little threads, and then he eventually weaves them back in, and you find out. And then it's like, but now at this point you're like 25 items deep that you're like, well, what happened to this? And then so that's interesting. Now we know he's a pantser.
Geneva just said, summoned indeed. Geneva just said that he has one of the most extensive pantser processes I've ever seen. Geneva knows everyone. So like we were talking about Lit RPG Con, Geneva's the one that helped put that whole thing on.
Yeah, I'm one of the co-directors. Thanks for inviting me here. I'm like, oh God, do I have to turn lights on and put on makeup? Like,
Not if you don't want to. No.
No. But yes, no. Matt has described his process, so it's insane. If you know, like, pantsing and plotting, or, like, the various sub things, he will rewrite everything he does so many times. So he's like, I'll write this paragraph. I'll write it again. I'll write it again. I'll write it again. I'll write it again. I'll write it. He will spend a day on a paragraph just rewriting it to get like the version he loves. It is absolutely insane, but it's such art. Like, I yell at him every time I see him. I'm like, Matt, you made me cry again. Dungeon Crawler Carl should not make me cry.
It really shouldn't.
Right? Like,
That's what I think I love about it.
when I found Lit RPG, that should not make me cry. That should just like hit the nostalgia buttons. No, he makes me cry.
Yep.
And it's amazing. So hi.
And quickly, you should plug Lit RPG Con, because like I've been going to cons and like geeky cons for over 20 years. Like I love a good con. Lit RPG Con was literally one of the best organized, most fun cons I've ever been to in my life. I loved it so much.
So we love that. First off, it's put on by my company, Legion Publishers, as well as Sound Booth Theater. Emily is my co-director. She and I pour heart, soul, blood, not lying about the blood, I'm sure. But no, just everything into these cons. But we have worked together for years, putting on various little events, trying to get into tracks, trying to get into just all the different cons, because everybody's like, nah, to Lit RPG. And Jordan Con was the first to give us our real thing. So if you aren't going, Jordan Con has a Lit RPG track that we run, and Brandon Sanderson will be there.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
For Jordan Con, I mean, I guess I would hope he would be, but
yeah. No, he only comes like every 3-4 years, so it's a good year for that. But yeah, so we just we had put on various small events that became much larger. Like we put on an event, we called it Lit RPG Under the Sea at the aquarium.
Yep.
We were expecting about 200, 250 people. We had 850 to 900 people. We're like, oh, maybe we should do this. So quietly we started reaching out to all the big names. We're like, hey, would you be interested in coming out to a convention just for Lit RPG? So once we had confirmation from all the huge names in the genre, we're like, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do this. And we did it. And the cool thing is it shines a light not just on them, but on all the up and coming authors and up and coming publishers and artists and narrators. We have a really fun surprise that's going to be announced next week. Yeah, I'm excited for that. But it really highlights the narrators of the genre, which I think don't get anywhere near enough love.
Totally.
Because Lit RPG has the highest amount of audiobook listeners, so
interesting.
Any other genre. Yeah.
That's so interesting because so many Lit RPG too, like Dungeon Crawler Carl is it's not crunchy. It's definitely more creamy and but so much Lit RPG is really crunchy and does have a lot of stat blocks, and so which is hard to do audibly.
It is.
But you have to do it. I only listen. I'm exclusively a listener. Operation Bounce House is literally the first book I've read with my eyes in probably 5 years. I only listen. So there are definitely some Lit RPG that just don't lend themselves as well. So that's really interesting that it's more listeners than not.
As a publisher, I have to read through a lot of, just submissions, right? So when I am enjoying books for myself, it's all audiobook. I'm doing it while I am cooking, cleaning, taking care of things, driving my kids to their various things, all the stuff. So I am very much an exclusive audiobook listener. And Lit RPG is so heavily audiobook, and we have such amazing narrators. I mean, Sound Booth Theater hosts an amazing team, but additionally to that, we've got so many crazy good narrators too. All over the place, all these independent narrators. Yeah, so we're just very lucky. So we have a very cool surprise to announce next week.
Oh, that's exciting.
With the narrators and with the con. So yeah.
That's so exciting.
I'm so glad I just randomly decided to log into
TikTok.
TikTok.
We're both talking about it. So Chad asked in the this past July was Lit RPG Con's first con. So it was as you said, it had been in tracks, but this was the first time that every panel didn't have to start with what is Lit RPG anyway.
Yes.
Everybody there just knew what it was. And so all the panelists were like, wait a minute, I could just start talking? I don't know.
Right? I don't have to explain things?
No, everybody's like, we're at a con for this. We know what it is. It's okay.
I have a question.
Amazing.
Yes. Does Lit RPG have a birth year? I mean, this couldn't have been around forever. Now, I know it's taking track, but what was the birth of Lit RPG?
Yes, no. I'm going to answer that yes, no. Because Lit RPG started in other countries, okay? And a lot of people give shit to this, but I will state my personal experience, okay? And this is based off my personal experience. But my introduction to Lit RPG was back in, 2017, which it was a year after it started having a presence in the US. Known as Lit RPG presence, not a oh, that's when it started, but it was actually identified as that. And my reason for it was I work with authors, obviously. And one had been referred to me. You may know him, Alaron Kong.
Yep.
And
the father.
Yeah. So he talked to me and he was like, hey, I don't know, have you heard of this genre, lit RPG? And I'm like, no. He's like, so do you like anime and video games? I'm like, yes and yes. Yeah, and I see Red doing the yes and yes. Like, but then he was like, do you know Skyrim and Sword Art Online? And I'm like, sold. When do we start working? Just I was done at that point, and then I actually started reading because I hated audiobooks at that point, because the only audiobooks I had listened to had been like old man reading to me audiobooks, not performances.
Yeah.
And then I listened to his audiobooks on about like, I think book 4 or 5, I got into the audio. I was like, all right, his fans are like really into the audio, I should try it. And I'm like, oh, Nick Padell, read me the book, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. But no, so I would say birth year of American lit RPG is probably about 2016. There are various like touchstones. It was only recently added to Amazon's catalog. I want to say it was a year or two maybe a year or two ago, but it is still fresh to America, but it is the fastest growing genre in the US.
Wow.
It's the strongest genre in Audible or audio. I say Audible as a default. We have a lot of places, a lot of platforms, but yeah, it's growing very rapidly. Romance is the highest contender against lit RPG.
Interesting.
And it's the only one that puts out as rapidly as lit RPG.
Not shocking on that, but wow.
Oh my god, romance is cutthroat.
But there have been romance book conventions for decades and decades and decades, right? Like that's a thing that a lot of people have been into for a long time. So, I feel like, with Lit RPG Con, it was so much fun to go the first year. Like it still had the small con feel.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, like I love Dragon Con. Dragon Con's a completely different animal. I love it. Like in Lit RPG Con, like I felt like hang out with Matt Dinniman. Like it really was. It's like everybody was just in the same room, just hanging out. Like Dragon Con, you're not going to get the same feel.
That's
it was very
genre
intimate.
though. Like the genre, if you enter it, whether as you're a reader, a narrator, an author, whatever you are, we're just a family. It really is. Like, and that's the thing we've brought to everything. All the small events, all the big events, everything we've gone to. Like, if you are Dragon Con if you're at Dragon Con and you're like, hey, I'm looking for lit RPG. I mean, they're going to hate me for saying this because I'm giving out the dirty secret here. Go to the Weston Bar. That's where we all hang. We start as like this little corner. The air conditioning in this corner is insane. It's so cold. We have joked about bringing blankets into this. Like, it is so cold. But at this point, it doesn't matter because there's 500 people in the bar now. Whereas it used to just be like 15 of us in that corner just hanging out, but you knew you could find lit RPG people in that corner. But yeah, it's like everywhere you go now, like you got a little lit RPG hub. Like
that's definitely something I want to like tack on to what you said, Geneva, because Morgan and I had the same experience. I saw lit RPG on TikTok. I had gotten into the genre and I was very new to it when I saw this TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, I want to go to this. But I knew nobody. I had never gone to a book convention. I had never talked to another person that had read Dungeon Crawler Carl or anything. And I was like, I'm doing this, dang it. And so I roll up in there and
then you got scooped up by us.
Yes. A found family, if you will. But that's the thing. Like, that's the genre right there. Was I walked in shy as could be. You know, I sat the opening ceremony. I sat in the very back right corner, as far away from like everybody as I could get. And then by the end of it, I'm sitting at tables talking to like people I had just met hours ago. I mean, and I'm playing D&D with Jack Fields and like other authors. And
All right, that's really cool.
Oh man, if you ever I would pay $1,000 to play D&D with Jack Fields. If you guys don't know Jack, please go find him. He probably thinks like we talked about you stalking Matt Morgan. Well, I apparently stalked Jack. Sorry, Jack. I don't really have promise.
You're giving me new sponsorship idea. Like I'm just like, okay, so auction off sponsorship things for D&D with Jack. Got it. All right.
Yes, I would bid on that.
Oh my God, Jack is so incredibly talented, and just not as his publisher or anything. Go check out his series.
I will plug it right now. He is just a brilliant writer. The Scarlet Citadel is his first one. Mm-hmm. Jack is this insanely intelligent, pulls in different genres. He's not like funny like Matt is necessarily, but he is the way, if you love how Matt ties things and Easter eggs and does all of that, the only other thing I'll say, because I don't want to go too far with this, but one of the coolest things about Jack's book is he ends, and he does this all over the book, but in one chapter, he ends the thing with the same word. So he leaves off the word. I won't tell you what the word is in case you go read it, but he leaves off the word. He starts the next chapter or whatever, with that word, and he does that. It's all throughout his book. He's very clever. He's brilliant. Anyway,
his voice is incredible.
Jack is a brilliant not only author but narrator.
Oh my God,
he is so so incredibly talented.
And here Richie's trying to say that he's the number one Jack Field type man.
No. Richie is Jack's 100% foot massager. Absolutely. If you guys don't know, there is an official term for Richie. It is, we do not kink shame in Lit RPG. We only Richie shame. And you can thank Matt for this. Okay, so Matt and I may have played a part, but it was absolutely Matt, and I was just behind the scenes playing technical support. So, no, we do not kink shame and Lit RPG. We only Richie shame.
I just like that there's a Discord for the con, and it was really, really helpful. It's how I found out that there was a fire in our building. It was really helpful. But even within the Discord, there were lots of people that were like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get something to eat. Does anybody not have friends? Is anybody here alone and want to go hang out?" It really was just so welcoming. But I love that that was the first time I'd ever even heard Richie. Was just looking through this Discord, and people just mentioned this Richie. Like everybody was supposed to know it. I was like, who the hell is this person?
Well, it's because he's my adopted child. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I speak to this kid at least 5 days a week.
I love that so much.
No, we are when I say Lit RPG is family, we are legit family. At one point I was forcing Matt to ball dance with me in a karaoke bar. Not my finest moment. Just gonna throw that out there. But forcing that. And then my daughter, who is 14, texts me, and it's 2 a.m. So I'm like, oh God, why is my daughter texting me? She's supposed to be cared for. And she's like, just saying goodnight, Mom. And I'm like, oh. And I have completely broken the whole Skibbity Utah thing by saying, or Skibbity, Ohio. I'm sorry. We say Skibooty, Utah in my house. To completely break it. So, and he was like, well, tell your daughter is very demure, very skibbity. And I'm like, no, skibooty.
Skibooty.
Yeah. And he's like, yes, tell her I say it is. So she tells her friends now, Matt Dinneman says I'm demure.
We can only all be so lucky to have something like that to be able to be just said, right? Oh, Matt. I'm still excited that Matt Dinneman said that I was his bathroom buddy. I'll take that, but come on, demure. I have a 13-year-old at home, so the entire Thanksgiving was 6, 7, literally.
Yeah, no, get that. So if you guys, I'm gonna shout out real quick because I can here. Sorry, just like Andrew Givler. He's got a new release, new lit RPG author, not through me, not published through me. So I'm just gonna say him. But Andrew was very successful as a YouTuber long before this, known as Sigils. But Andrew Givler has a fantasy publishing career, but now he's into lit RPG, so check him out. Yeah, I know, I see y'all searching. So check him out. But my son, who is 7, just about to be 8, thinks I'm the coolest human being in the world because I know Sigils personally. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's all about impressing our children with these weird ass things.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, punishing them by using like Skibbity.
Yeah.
Skobity, Utah, or 6, 7
Skabooty, Ohio.
Yeah.
Skabooty, Ohio, I'm telling you. Like, Andrew has said he will use one live. So.
So Geneva, just because if you guys haven't figured out, I might be like the lit RPG con's biggest fan. Geneva has to hear from me constantly about it. I just had a blast, and I just like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm all in. So if anybody doesn't know where, because I did see this question earlier in chat, if they don't know where to find out more about lit RPG con, where would you suggest they go to buy tickets, get the dates, hear more about it?
Okay, so litrpgcon.com, litrpgcon.com, as in Mary, because that's a weird thing. But no, we've got everything up on the website. There's also every social media I think we can think of that's at least relevant. We are on Facebook, we are on Discord, we are on YouTube, we are on TikTok, we are on Instagram. You can find them everywhere, but it's Lit RPG Con. If you search Lit RPG, we should come up. We are, for all of you guys on the stream here, looking into adding a lot more workshops this year.
Fun.
And one of those, at least one, we're hoping might be something to do with TikTok and influencers and readers and reviewers, and how do they get involved? How do they expand the conversation? So
have a book club.
Applications are open, and we are really hoping you all apply.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Love it.
I know I follow, like I'm on the Facebook and all of that, but just following Lit RPG Con here on TikTok, whenever there is an announcement, it definitely hits the top of my feed. So
yeah, Facebook's algorithms have been funky lately, so like follow everywhere. That's the best way to find anything. It's hard to find it. Like you can be best friends with someone and not see their updates for 3 weeks on Facebook.
Yeah, so. But I know on here I've seen everything as soon as it's been pushed. So this is, and then I know, like, so then there was a question about how do we apply. Just right on the Lit RPG Con website, there's an application for like basically anybody, including if you wanted to volunteer, right?
Oh, absolutely. We have volunteer applications, guest applications, panelist applications, and then we are going to be releasing the sponsorship opportunity soon. I did see Ginger and the Foxes. Can we apply for that? Absolutely. Please apply. We'd love to have all of you. You guys, I follow all of you guys. I think this is amazing. Like, having been a lit RPG reader for so many years and like a fan for so many years, this is something that I absolutely love, and I am amazed to see on TikTok, and just so thrilled that we have people talking about it. Like, every time a video comes across and it's like, hey, if somebody recommends a book about a guy and boxers and a cat, you should read it, because I'm like, yes, you should get in there.
I love that. I know I see a lot of those videos. I try to I follow as many people as I can. If you're talking about the series, I love it. I can't follow people when they're doing it when they're driving. Like that's just my like plea to stop recording while you're driving. Like it's just not safe.
That I agree.
But like it's just a plea. I wouldn't know what to say, but I can't.
I think it's a mom thing, right? Like we're both like, stop. Like,
yeah. Richie wants to know if he's banned, and of course I'm gonna say yes, you're banned.
Yeah. Banned.
Richie is the con. He's like the mascot.
I mean, Richie, you didn't. No, I can't even say he didn't call you mom. He's called me today as well. So.
Oh my god! All right, so it is about time for us. Last thought. So again, we talked about book 1 of Dungeon Crawler Carl today for book club, only through chapter 32. So we're not talking about the very end of the book. But any final thoughts on these chapters when we meet Meadowlark with everything that's like really building with this book? Like, you know, I think it's definitely hitting already this obsession, this culty type feeling of, oh my god, I've got to keep writing. I think it's definitely already hit in book 1 at this point. But last thoughts from anyone and everyone about these chapters.
Favorite moment. Carl, I've been previously wounded in battle.
I freaking love that. I love that so much. The previously wounded. It's so grievously injured.
Well, Kyle can literally see that she's healing.
That she's getting better.
But the way that Jeff says that, specifically, the grievously. This is one where I did go and check it in writing to see if the text says that like she was really doing anything. No, that's just a Jeff choice, and it was perfect.
All right, so I'm really bad at timelines. I'm like, caught up on books and things. So I'm just gonna ask this because I feel like it's a safe spoiler.
Yep.
Have we gotten to the point where Jeff can't pronounce Yakima?
That I actually don't think that's I can't remember if it's happened yet.
I feel like it's early in book
it's
1.
early.
So like that's the best I got is because I'm from the Seattle area.
We were talking about that. That's one of the things we were talking about was like I was trying to understand the geography. We were trying to understand where Meadowlark is, and it's in a town I still can't pronounce because it's somewhere in Washington. And
nope, say it. Let's hear it.
I'm trying to go back now in the chat because it starts with a W.
I said Winnetachi, but it was
something.
Wenatchee, I think is what. There's
Wenatchee.
Wenatchee.
I'm in Oklahoma. You got me.
I'm in New Hampshire.
I'm from outside Seattle, so that's where I'm like, when I heard Yakima.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Jeff, no.
But I would have had no idea. Oh, the perils of being a narrator.
Oh, it happens all the time.
They Google so much. Like, if you guys don't know, most narrators do a lot of lives, and they record live. So, like one of my favorites to listen to is Steve Campbell. He will talk about stuff, and he will be in there, and he'll be on Discord live, and he'll be like, oh, well, and he's a Canadian. So he's like, all right, but this is an American character. Let me make sure I'm saying this correctly for an American. So he'll Google it and like listen to it and try to like get it just right. And he's such a perfectionist, like that he'll wait till he gets it just right. And then he's like, no, I let my Canadian slip through. Like,
it is so funny. It is really challenging as a narrator. I'm a fledgling narrator, only have like a handful of books under my belt, but it's consistently a problem where I'm having to go look up. And then, when authors come back, they're like, I want it said this way. And you're like, oh, like a big one was like sentient or sentience or whatever. It's like, oh.
Mana or mana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I only said
sometimes
that
it matters, right? If it's data or data, like, that really matters to data. But my name is Data.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ron, what's your favorite moment from this section of book?
Well, I already said it, but it's reward.
Yeah.
Bitches don't get rewards. I love that line. It's my favorite.
I'm going to cheat and say something that happened in chapter 20, even though technically we started in 21, because I forgot to say it last week. And it's in chapter 20, and it's when Donut talks about how Carl kept watching all those videos of the two women cleaning each other. But like we're talking about Donut's naivete, like that's the just that he watches videos of women cleaning each other because she's a cat, and that's exactly what cats would
Uncomfortable Carl or Mordecai.
Like it's such a nice, subtle joke that's so funny that
Mongo is appalled.
we haven't even met Mongo yet, and yet he's pre-appalled.
He's pre-appalled.
But that's in chapter 20. So, like, you know, again, this series gets fun fast. It gets funny fast. It gets, like, the next couple chapters we read, we're about to deal with something right away with Meadowlark that's pretty sad. In like I think that's chapter 34-ish. So things are coming up. Even in this book, like again, we should not feel this many deep feelings about a book this silly, but we do because
oh my gosh, he makes you feel all the feels.
All the feels.
It's horrible.
Right next to each other. We laugh 1 second and literally next sentence we're crying and mad and yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah. So none of us are on our first read through. Correct.
Except for I'm at 6. I'm about 3/4.
That's right. So you have so it's like for a series, it's almost like. But you said that this was your 6th time reading book 1.
Yeah. It's a lot.
This is my 6th time on book 1 as well. But I have read all of the books, but still, like so. But this specifically is really meant to be like a reread, like a really in-depth. I'm reading it at a level I definitely never read it previously because I'm taking notes.
The tabs and the highlighters. I've never understood that until just now. Like it just literally. I never understood why the book girlies did that. I totally get it now.
Now,
totally get it.
I don't think I'm doing it right, but I'm doing it.
I love that
because I only listen. This is the first time. Like I've now I keep tag in my Audible. I keep heading clips, and then I go back and I find them here to look at in text too. But
Peter, do you do that?
What?
Does Peter do that? Do you do that at all?
I have not done that yet. No, I can barely see to read anymore.
That's my thing. That's one of the reasons why I only listen is one, it's an attention span, but my eyesight is just terrible. When I read, I have to take my glasses off, but then I can't see, and then I lose my glass. it's just a pain in the butt. It's getting old sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Geneva, you said you're an audiobook only, pretty much, right?
I mean, for my personal, when I'm reading for entertainment, absolutely audiobook, 100%. Though I will say, the Kindle highlights are hugely helpful for authors.
Yeah.
So, if there is something you love in a book, just highlight it. Just if there is a line that got you, whether it's crying, laughing, whatever, if you highlight it, oh my gosh, it helps them so much. The more people that highlight the same things, it gets flagged by Amazon, and they're like, oh, we should feature this. So,
didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool feature. People don't know.
Back when I was still reading on Kindle, it would say, many other people have highlighted this section. So, I remember that being interesting. But.
Exactly. And also, just a PSA right now, because Amazon is screwing over authors, leave reviews. Currently, they're suppressing reviews and ratings. And it's really hurting authors, especially indie authors.
On Amazon?
Wow.
You're suggesting doing it on Amazon?
Well, on Amazon and Audible, but Amazon more specifically. Okay. So we're really noticing it because you'll see now they're including the Goodreads amounts. It used to be whatever your Amazon review number was, you might be at 1,000 reviews on Amazon, right? And at Goodreads, you'd be at 500 because not as many people are coming from Goodreads. Now we're seeing 500 from Goodreads and 200 on Amazon.
Huh.
Wow.
It all happened after Amazon crashed a while back, their Amazon web hosting services. And their authors, publishers, everyone's talking to Amazon about it. They're just yeah, we're working on it. But leave your reviews, take screenshots of your reviews, make sure people know you left reviews. It helps your authors so much. Doesn't matter if they're big or small. Does not matter.
That's really, really great info.
And I haven't done that. But
I haven't either.
I'm going to do that.
I leave it on Goodreads, but mostly just for me to remember. Like I write them
Yeah.
for myself because there's so many times I read a book and then I go back. You guys have crowns. They look so cute.
Yeah.
I go back. I'm like, did I read this book? And I have to like read my own review to be like, oh, I did read it. Okay, good to know. Shows how
No,
good.
it's like a very like last few months thing to the point where this conversation is happening in the author community and not yet to the reader. We're working on like a message to present to the readers. So please, like this platform, you guys are reaching the readers. Leave those reviews. Talk about the authors you love. You know, hype them up.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's going to be an action item for all of us. Go and leave a review. Next week, 9 Eastern Standard Time, we are talking about chapters 33 through the end of the book, which is 47-ish. But we're also going to talk about Pineapple Cabaret if you have the hardcover, and then just the end of the audio versions too, because there's some commercially things. So we're talking about the end plus epilogue plus chapter 1 of Pineapple Cabaret. So that's next week. We're going to talk about basically everything else in book 1 and book 1 as a whole. And then the week after we start book 2.
Yay.
So thank you everybody for joining. This was fantastic. Peter and Ron, thank you so much for coming. Geneva, it was incredible to have you here at the end.
Oh, thanks for including me last minute. This is crazy. I loved it.
I mean, it really fit because we were just talking about Lit RPG Con, so that was
I love that.
it really was great timing. So thanks everyone for book club. And keep reading, keep talking about these books, and apparently go leave reviews on Amazon too, because they need them. And we love them.
All right.
Have a great night, everyone. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
I will see you next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.